Hi, this is Damon DeMarco for CreateX3.com coming to you today as part of our Mind Over Matter series. In this series, I talk about things that some people would call spiritual, some people would call religious, some people would call Zen, some people would call psychology. To me, it all has to do with the science of mind. And so that's the approach that I'm going to take with all of the presentations in this series. People sometimes say things like opinions, everyone's got them, like fundaments, that thing that we all sit down on. Well, there's one other thing that I know for a fact that we all have, and that is, if you are a human being, you have a mind. And sometimes, if you're like me, your mind works very well for you, and sometimes your mind works against you. And so, to be a success in life, to be comfortable in life, to do the best we can, and live the way we want to, it is sometimes necessary to address our minds, and if necessary, train them to be the kinds of tools that we want them to be. One of the things that I talk about a lot in my work is paradoxical thinking. Paradoxical thinking is both and thinking, rather than either or thinking. When we practice paradoxical thinking, we can sit in the tension of opposites and not feel any need to take sides. This is a very powerful mental position to take. It has been long studied by psychiatrists, mystics, seers, artists. Over and over and over again, we are told that the ability to see a situation from all sides is what allows us to approach life, our work, our relationships, and so on, more creatively and fully. For instance, F. Scott Fitzgerald, one of my absolute all-time favorite writers, understood paradox quite well. He wrote, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. One should, for example, be able to see that things are hopeless, yet be determined to make them otherwise." There's a story that comes to us from the annals of Zen that brilliantly demonstrates this, and I will give you my interpretation of that story now. Once there was a farmer who worked his land diligently. He was proud of the old sway-backed horse that he kept in the paddock. One day his horse kicked a hole in the fence and escaped. And all the farmer's neighbors stopped by. "Oh no," they said, "look what happened. This is such terrible luck." To which the farmer just shrugged and said, "Maybe." A couple of days went by, and then early one morning the village was shaken by a sound like thunder. The villagers all turned out as the farmer's sway-backed horse ran down the street, trailed by a dozen wild stallions and mares. All were beautiful, powerful beasts. The farmer's horse led the other 12 into its paddock. Once they were all inside, the farmer simply closed the gate. Now the villagers all ran up to him. "Incredible," they said. "Where you had one horse, now you have many. This is excellent luck." To which the farmer said, "Maybe." The next day, the farmer's son entered the paddock. Selecting one of the stallions, he tried to mount it, hoping to tame it. But the stallion bucked and threw him. The son hit the ground. The impact shattered his leg. Again, the villagers all rushed in. "Oh no!" they cried. "Oh, such a tragedy! You have terrible luck!" But the old farmer just shrugged and said, "Bad luck? Good luck? Maybe," he said. A week later, the farmer's nation went to war. A column of troops from the capital city came marching through the village. Burly sergeants kicked their way into hovels. They pulled out every male villager between the ages of 16 and 40 to serve in the army. Well, this was a death sentence. In the wars of this era, unarmed, untrained peasants were used as fodder for enemy cannon. When the soldiers got to the farmer's house, they found his son lying on the floor with his leg bound up in a splint, unable to move. "This boy is of no use to us," said one of the sergeants. "Leave him be." The column of troops marched away from the village. The farmer's neighbors ran up to him crying, "Oh, happiness, look! Your son has been spared! Such incredible luck you have!" To which the old farmer said, "Maybe." So what does this story mean? I can tell you what it means to me. It reminds me to remain as best I can unattached to events. Good events come, but then they go. Bad events come, but they go as well. And sometimes the things that we think are good are actually bad. And sometimes the things that we think are bad turn out to be good. So why on earth waste so much energy over all that? When I'm functioning at my best, I focus on my breathing, and I simply allow life to unfold without judgment, by sitting in the space between what we like to call opposites. This is paradoxical thinking. It is non-attached thinking, non-dualized thinking. It is non-judgmental thinking, and it allows us to simply live life rather than think that we're living life. I hope this helps your work, whatever that work might be and whoever you are. Again, I'm Damon DeMarco for CreateX3.com. This is our Mind Over Matter series. If you liked it, please hit subscribe before you go. And thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. Until next time.